Welcome back YouTube. The iPhone 14 has been updated to the iOS 16.1.2 and now it's time to check the animations. So the first thing of course we're gonna start is the always on display, which of course is not featured on this phone because that's the iPhone 14 for poor people, so it's not the Pro version, no AOD. But anyway guys, you pretty much know how this looks on the S22 Ultra and I want to show you guys just this transition, which I believe is really awesome. Let me know what do you think down below in the comments. And with that said, I am now going to go inside the lock screen where you can check the animations there. Now what will happen here on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, the moment I click on the clock, yeah, we're gonna get access to your widgets. And by the way, yes, I can see this flickering too. I just think it's because Samsung are playing some mind tricks with the refresh rate. But hey, this is the beautiful animation we have here on the S22 Ultra. Now what can you do guys on the iOS? Once you double tap the screen, you have this very nice bouncy effect from the wallpaper, which I find amazing. I like blur and also bouncy effects. Of course, then you have access to your notifications and this is how they are displayed. When you double tap on the Samsung S22 Ultra, yeah, I would say it's a bit more basic and it seems that it's not so fluid, right? See, I can of course go and click here on something. It will require of course me to enter my PIN. The same interaction you have also on the iPhone. So let's say I want to go and see something on Viber, of course I need to unlock. But what I do like here is this animation where I can just swipe up and down through my notifications, and this really looks very unique. Now you have two icons. On the S22 Ultra I can access the phone, the dialer, and also the camera. I can pretty much access here the flashlight and the camera. So I would say in terms of lock screen experience and animation, they're pretty much the same. What happens when you go on the left side, guys? You can see your widgets, which is very cool. What happens when I do the same on my S22 Ultra? If I swipe to the left, nothing really will happen. And if I swipe to the right, guys, the same thing. Here, when I swipe to the right, I immediately get access to my camera. So again, it's a bit more intuitive and animation-wise, it's really very smooth. But I mean, no doubt that the animation king in 2023 almost is still the iPhone. See here, guys, beautiful transitions. Okay, all right, I'm now on my lock screen and the first thing I'm going to check is really operation. Just navigating through my lock screen so we can do this on the iPhone and also on the S22 Ultra. Now pay attention guys, this happens really quick on the S22 Ultra. It runs also an AMOLED 120Hz display. This here again, it's the iPhone 14 for poor people. Of course I'm joking because it's hell of expensive, but it doesn't really have 120Hz. And see here guys, the animations really are slowed down. And I do believe that one of the tricks that Apple is using to achieve faster, probably even smoother animations is the fact that they are really slowed down. And I did a bunch of videos where we artificially slowed down the animations on the One UI using developer settings and it really worked well. But this is what it is. This here is the stock animation, so I would say it's pretty much comparable. Now what happens here when I swipe down on my S22 Ultra, I'm gonna get access to my notifications. Very beautiful animations, again with applying some blur on the background that I like. What happens when you do the same here on your iPhone? Yeah, you pretty much get this curtain. Now it's weird guys, it's weird. I like it somehow. It has the blur somehow, see, but what I don't like is this part that kind of overlaps on the icons. And when I do this here on my S22 Ultra, you can just see how gradual this is, and it doesn't really matter from where I do it. I can do it from here, it's still gonna be smooth. I can do it from here as well. And when you do it on the iOS guys, it's just this curtain here. I think this is too obvious and I don't like this. There are people that will like this. Also of course it applies a blur on the background and then you get access to your big clock. But this part here that overlaps on the icons, I don't really like that one so much. So okay, that's this gesture. What happens on my S22 Ultra when I swipe up? When I swipe up, I get access to my applications. Here on the iPhone 14 guys, when I swipe up, nothing really will happen because of course that's an iPhone. Now it's time to check what will happen when we go to that direction. So I'm gonna go like this. Here I'm gonna get access to the Google Discover, and on the iPhone I'm gonna get access to all the nice widgets, and of course you can edit them, you can add new widgets. There are plenty of widgets, and I do have a feeling that Apple is trying to play a catch up. I've been using Apple iPhones since the very first iPhone, and of course also Android phones now as my main driver. I think Apple is still lagging behind with some of the customization features. I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying it's different. But now we got this out of the picture, and now it's time to really start opening some folders and opening some applications. Now it's time to check the folder opening animations, and this time the iPhone surprises, because on the iOS opening folders really is snappier, feels quicker compared to the Samsung S22 Ultra. And with that said, it's time for us to open some applications. And the first thing we're going to start is Telegram. All right. By the way, not that I'm bragging, but I guess that the S22 Ultra was really quicker, but that's not a speed test. One more time. Okay, now they were on par. Now I'm going to open the Facebook application, see what happens. All right, scrolling down. Okay, now going outside, guys. So one more time, I'm going to open the folder and I'm going to open Telegram. Pretty much on par. Now one more time, I'm gonna go inside the folder and now I'm going to open Facebook. I would say it's pretty much on par, and now it's time to test the recent menu. It works almost the same on both phones. I just have to do like this and boom. But guys, pay attention, this animation is really very different. Let me just go now back on the home screen. So by just swiping like this, guys, I'm gonna get access on my home screen. This gesture is the same on both phones. See here, swipe one time, you're here. So this is that animation, all right? Let me know, where do you like it better, here or on the iPhone? Okay, now once we're there on the home screen, guys, I'm just gonna swipe and hold and now get access to my recent applications. And you can see, by the way, how quick they are, right, on the Samsung. The iPhone implementation is really very slow. I'm not sure why, guys, but yeah, one more time. And let me just tell you guys, there is no button here to close all the applications. The button that you can use to close all applications on the Ultra is here. And if you've used Pixel devices, you know it's just at the end. Why? Because the system knows better than us how to optimize things, how to optimize RAM memory, and etc, etc. Now it's time to check the notifications, guys. Once I do one swipe like this, I'm gonna enter all the notifications, guys. And on the iOS, you have the same animation as you are on the lock screen. Now, I prefer this one here better, though I would say the way that they're separated here on the iOS is really more distinct. This changed with Android 13 and One UI 5, but it's still just very narrow and sometimes, yeah, just a bit too cluttered. But this is how this looks like on the One UI 5, and this is how it looks like on the iOS. And what I really like on the iOS, see guys, here, this bouncy effect, all right? You have it also kind of the same on the S22 Ultra, but it's clumsy. It's not so smooth. And again, one of the reasons for this is that on the iOS, it's just done a bit slower. And something else that I want to show you guys, when I do like this, you know what happens, same here, but on the iOS, guys, when you do scroll down like this on the right side, you're gonna get access to your quick settings, and this animation here is very good. One more time, boom. You know why? Because see all the different elements, the way they bounce, guys. This is really as to I'm swiping one more time on my Ultra, and I have to tell you, it's really boring. There is no dancing icons, there is no zoom in, zoom out, and it's a bit just dull and simple and boring. On the iPhone, boom, you know, they just pop up like this. And if you're using some Xiaomi phones, you know that Xiaomi very bluntly copied this one-to-one from the iPhone. But hey, iPhone really put it first, and this is how it looks like. Now let's open the camera to see the camera opening animations. So boom, on both phones, all right. Now let me go to the photo mode and see the animations. It's pretty much the same, and now closing it. So camera opening, I would say is about the same. And yeah, definitely feels way quicker on the iPhone. Just see what happens, guys. When I open it, I immediately can see here, it's not like this. And now perhaps we can just test some widgets. So this here is the weather widget that you have on the iPhone, and this one is on the One UI 5. Clicking on it, yeah. Well, you know, people really like the iPhone weather. It's really very nice with these realistic animations. I do like this a bit more because I just can feel the handcrafted animations. And see here, guys, opening the widget, closing the widget feels very fast on the One UI 5. Here, you know, it's just the standard, like I would say, iOS type of animations. It's also fluid, also smooth, but it's just slow, you know. So if you're coming from an Android phone, this might not be your preferred test. And then, guys, not to mention, if I do like this on my Ultra, I'm gonna get something like this. So here, that's not really possible on the iPhone, so I'm even not going to compare it. But now, guys, it's time to check the volume rocker. So let me now show you what happens when I press the volume rocker, because here I do believe that Samsung phones really lack, and in general Android. So when I press the volume rocker on the iPhone, I get a big bar, and when I start manipulating it, guys, it becomes really like this very tiny bar. When I click here on the Samsung, it's pretty much the same, right? Show off, But then guys, when I start manipulate it, it just remains the same. And when I click it, oh yeah, I get these nice bars here. And on the Android 13, the stock implementation, it's really awful. When I start doing this on the iPhone and I try to click on it, it's so quick sometimes you're not able, right, to even click. But when you click on it, guys, nothing will ever happen, right? So of course you have far more control on the S22 Ultra, but animation wise guys, this one is really the option that I prefer. The one on the S22 Ultra is very smooth, and as you can just see, there is almost no difference. But yeah, when you start manipulating it, it does not become this tiny bar, and I just think efficiency wise this here for simplicity is better, and of course for not obstructing the whole screen. And guys, else I think this is really how those two phones look alike with the animations. What do you like better, the iOS 16.1.2 animations or the One UI 5 Android 13 animations? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you like videos like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and then see me in my next video. With that said, VST over and bye.